Welcome to Talkin Vols, episode 27. My name is Boogie Bentley.
Vols JP.
Or Maine.
Well, some of you guys been wondering, where has Talkin Vols been? You've been asking, we've got a head ball coach. Where is Talkin Vols? As you can tell, I'm struggling. My voice was left in Nashville with the Predators. But we do have a new head football coach, Jeremy Pruitt, former defensive coordinator at Alabama. If you had dropped that name on me a couple of weeks ago, I probably wouldn't have been thrilled. I would have been on board. But after the press conference, after the circumstances of the coaching search, boys, I am on board. I'm ready to run through a brick wall. Maine, how do you feel a few days after the hire, after you've had time to drink it in, man?
I think we come out pretty good on it, considering the circumstances. I mean, as we all know, this whole coaching search was an absolute fiasco. We've never seen one like it before. You get a coach hired, and then he's gone. The AD gets fired in the middle of a coaching search. Just your normal everyday UT storyline there. But I think we did pretty good on it. I mean, it basically come down, it was going to be a defensive coordinator from an SEC school. And, Pruitt's defenses have been top-notch. He's learned under excellent coaches. So I'm like you, man. He had me fired up during that press conference. He didn't come in and boast about what he's done in the past. He didn't sling a bunch of crap, so to speak. He come in and put it like it was, that he's coming in to win ball games. And basically he put it to me that anything else is not acceptable down there. So I'm happy with the hire. I think it turned out pretty good, especially considering everything that went down. I think we'll be happy with this hire.
What about you, JP? I agree with everything you said. It's like I said a couple weeks ago, I'm probably not too happy with it, but I would have been on board. He won the press conference. That's where he got me. I was happy with it. Anybody not named Steele, I was going to be happy with, but he won me over at that press conference for sure.
Yeah, I think we got us a football coach. I'm not going to say that, it's too early to tell. Like we said couple of months ago, that unless Tennessee got somebody that was a proven coach, that, they were going to have to prove it. And, Pruitt's got a great background. He's got a great resume as defensive coordinator. I like the hire as far as going after a defensive-minded coach. I think Pruitt is probably a really in-your-face, probably intense coach. I'd say a lot of those kids that probably been pampered and got by with stuff that Butch allowed them to get by with, and probably practice-wise, I'd say that they're probably in for a rude awakening, probably when off-season conditioning and especially once spring practice rolls around next year and stuff like that. His track record as far as a defensive coordinator, what more can you say? What's he coached in 4 national championship games, I think. He's got experience at the highest level in the most critical games when the spotlight's on you. He's got a great resume as far as being able to develop talent. It'll be interesting to see because, especially this year or next year, he's certainly not going to have the talent that he had at Alabama. So we'll see, but I'm excited about it. I think I know his staff's not completely finalized yet, but I have been impressed that he was able to quickly get some guys away from some SEC schools. That's something that you didn't see, sure, Dooley or certainly Jones. I was glad to see that he's bringing in some staff that's got some ties to the SEC, that's got recruiting background in the South, so forth like that. So I think probably, even though that this staff's not finalized yet, I think that this is probably the most complete staff that Tennessee's had probably since the year Kiffin was there.
Yeah, and I think that's the key. Talking about him participating in 4 national championships, and part of it, when you talk about his recruiting, and a lot of people are pointing out his win-loss record as a defensive coordinator. I mean, that's 2 seasons at Alabama as a defensive coordinator. It's pretty easy to be an elite recruiter at Alabama. So, he is going to have to prove himself. But that said, I like the fact that he's coming from that background. He's been there. He's seen it. It may be Nick Saban's program, but Pruitt has seen what it takes to get to that elite level. And also, talking about Fulmer, I think Fulmer's making the right changes. And I think the money that they threw on the table for Pruitt to go hire his staff, I think that it seems like the mindset has changed in Knoxville. And I'm excited to see, where it goes from here. He's, like you said, he's hired a couple of guys. I think didn't just today he fired the strength and conditioning guy. That was today. I'm curious to see where they go, with that.
Yeah, and they were talking about Winky. Chris Winky was coming on, was supposed to be coming on staff, but now they're saying that that's not the case. That that sounds like that he's probably going to maybe end up back up at Florida State, which is where he played at. So I think that they've still got to get the tight ends coach, a wide receiver coach.
Need a special teams coach too.
Yeah, special teams. I don't know if somebody will pull double duties there. Maybe the tight end coach might coach special teams or something like that. I don't know with that, but defense, bringing over that Kevin Scher, who's linebackers coach for Georgia right now. He's going to be the defensive coordinator. And then you've got Tyson Helton coming from USC. It's going to be the OC and the quarterback coach. So with that, and I was glad to see that he kept Robert Gillespie.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly, like we've talked about on here, certainly by far the most productive coach that was on the staff prior staff with Jones. By far the most.
Yeah, I agree, and I thought it was kind of funny myself that he gets a coordinator from USC, but it's not
T. Martin.
It's not T. Martin, and it's the head coach at USC's brother that comes. I thought that was kind of funny in a respect, but it looks like he's been an offensive coordinator before and had some pretty good offenses. It looks like so. I'll be curious to see how that one works out there. And you mentioned Scherer. He seems to have a pretty good reputation. I'd even seen his name thrown around that he could possibly even replace Pruitt at Alabama as defensive coordinator. So he's evidently thought quite a bit of. From what I understand, it's co-coordinator, is it not, with him and Chris Rump? Is that not the case that I seen?
I hadn't seen that.
I kept seeing co-coordinators too, but I thought it was, what's the other guy's name? Friend.
I kept hearing that name. Be offensive though. I mean, he'll be the offensive line coach, and that may be one of the most important hires there too. Because we know what that offensive line's been like, and it has to get fixed in a hurry.
I just kept seeing those 2 names, Friend and the guy from USC. But has it been officially announced that the guy from USC is going to be the offensive coordinator?
Well, that's what VolQuest is reporting. They've got Tyson Helton as the OC / quarterback coach, and they've got Scherer as the DC / inside linebacker, and they got Rump as the outside linebacker and defensive end, and then you got Tracy Rocker that's coaching the defensive line, of course, bringing Terry Fair back to coach the DBs. So, and there's been a lot of talk about that Austin Thomas, who's down at LSU, who's basically they've given him the title as the general manager down there, but he's from, I think, Franklin, Tennessee, and he's been instrumental in bringing a lot of Tennessee recruits to down there. So they've been a lot of talk about the possibility, and hopefully that they'll find some way to bring him back and get him on, because there's a thought process that if he comes and joins the staff in some capacity, that that will be a huge bonus for recruiting in the mid-state area for sure.
Yeah, and that'll be big because next year's class looks really good out there, and I think UT was trailing on a lot of guys at this point. Of course, that's to be expected with the disaster of a season we just had right there. But yeah, that'll be a big hire right there. It was good to see Terry Fair come back, a little bit of orange blood on the staff. We all remember Fair playing. He was a good player down there. Turned out pretty good in the NFL too. I like what he's done. Like you guys mentioned, he's brought in guys with SEC ties. I mean, it's all over the board pretty much. I'm not sure if Helton's been in the SEC before. I can't remember seeing that, but I'm not going to say he hasn't. I'll be curious to see where he goes with the receivers coach, because that's going to be a big hire too, getting somebody that can develop these receivers a little bit. But
Yeah.
but overall, I like what he's done so far, and no matter who's the defensive coordinator in title, I'm sure it's probably going to be Pruitt's show on defense any way you look at it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that pure Pruitt for sure is going to have a hand in the defense. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, they've already offered, as far as recruiting goes. I mean, a ton of kids that the previous staff, Jones and them, hadn't offered, and then some that maybe that they were trying to get in with at some point in time, and now they've kind of got back in with them and so forth. But now they've had two or three that's decommitted. I know the defensive lineman from Louisiana, Jamarcus Chapman, he decommitted last night. Cross, that defensive back from Florida, he did.
Engel.
But from what I've read on those, Engel. From what I've read on those were pretty much a mutual parting. So, and a couple of them were in this past weekend up there for a visit. So, it certainly sounds like that Pruitt and staff probably took a look at them and probably just said, hey, it might be better for you to start looking around, and I mean, that's the bad thing about recruiting, but the good thing is, those kids that they don't have to sign until February, so, they've still got another couple of months that at least that they can get on with another program, but it doesn't sound like that Pruitt is going to sign kids just to be signing them. He's going to have to.
I like that change in mindset. You talking about kids getting offers that didn't have offers before, and we're talking about some talented kids out there that are now getting offers, and not only getting them, they're excited about them. You can see them tweeting out, their response, and they're excited about it. And things that we harp on this podcast all the time: player development, player evaluation, and recruiting. And just the vibe I'm getting already. We all know Butch did a good job recruiting at times. But the player evaluation or development, something was wrong there. Something was off there, right? I mean, I know I'm beating a horse here, but how many times do we see the players come in, they're 5 stars, we're excited, and then they go nowhere? Is that evaluation? Is it development? There's something's off, and I want to see what Pruitt can do. Why is he offering different people? I don't know, but it's exciting me to see these changes and energy, man. I just feel like there's an energy around a program that's coming off of an 8-loss season for the first time in school history that should not have this energy, but it's there. It is there.
Well, one reason I think is based on the defense. You need bigger players in that defense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he wants cornerbacks that are going to be in your face. That's going to play up on the line of scrimmage. You can't bring in 5'9", 180-pound guys to do that. And I think that's what we've been used to, kind of a smaller cornerback, and they play off, they get pushed around and stuff. He's wanting bigger corners. I mean, you see some of these corners he's offering now, 6'2" and 6'3", 185 to 195 pounds. That's guys that's going to get up in your face right there. And then, man, some of these defensive tackles he's offered. Have you guys seen some of these weight measurements? I mean, anywhere from 340 to 370 you've seen on these guys. So you know he's looking for a true defensive tackle there. And then a couple linebackers I've seen that he's offered. They're bigger linebackers too. You're looking 235, 240, right in that range. So everything in it's going to be a lot different in terms, because I mean, I think if you look at it, UT's been pretty undersized at all positions. I mean, they've had some decent sized guys at tackle and end for the last couple years, but linebackers are not your prototypical linebacker. A lot of them's 220, if even that. So it'll be interesting to see, but it's definitely a bigger guy that they've got in, because you can tell they're going to go a lot of 3-4. They'll probably end up going a lot of nickel too, but I do like it. You're going to have bigger guys in there as well.
Yeah, I think that you can definitely see, like you said, a change in the recruiting strategy and some of the kids that he's looking at. I agree on the 3-4. I think that they will try to run more of that, but you're going to have to definitely get, a big time nose tackle, somebody that's got some weight to them, and then both of your ends are going to be a whole lot bigger as well with that. But going back to what Boogie said, I mean the lack of player development down there is what killed Jones. I mean, it just absolutely killed him, and that's one thing that I'm excited to see, and hopefully that we'll see a change in direction there. That once he starts signing some of these kids, that they'll actually start being able to be developed and actually living up to the potential that they've got. Hopefully that the coaches coming in, that they'll be able to coach them up better with that. One thing that Pruitt's definitely done, and this staff is definitely already doing, is they are trying to get some offensive linemen in there. They definitely see that what's coming back next year, and what happened to the offensive line this year, that they're looking at several junior college kids, and there's some big old boys there too. So hopefully that we'll be able to sign some of those, and maybe they can have an immediate impact, because that's the thing with that position, with what we got coming back. It's going to be hard to recruit just a couple of true freshman offensive linemen, because there's not many of them out there like Trey Smith that's going to be able to jump in and instantly start and be as dominant as he was at times last year.
Yeah, for sure. Well, there's one, but I don't think we probably shouldn't even mention his name. Rocky, you trying to eat your microphone, buddy?
Yeah,
What's
I'm
going
having
on
some issues here right now. So sorry, guys.
Cade Mays, obviously, but as we've seen time and time again on VolQuest this week, Cade Mays, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. But like you said, we were talking off air, excited about some of the big JUCO offensive linemen they're offering. There was one kid we were talking about. I swear, I think he was 6'6", 6'5", 340, something like that. Big old boys. That's what. It's good to see that change. I want to talk a little bit about, not to just keep harping on it, I know it's just words, but the press conference. Because I felt like when he got up there, he seemed like it seemed genuine. It didn't seem fake or put on or scripted. It just seemed like that was Pruitt, and it is what it is, and this is what he's going to say. But a couple things, like Rocky said earlier, that I like that he mentioned is that they're not going to play on their heels. If you need 2 yards, they're going to be in your grill, and they're going to make you earn every single inch. And I think that is huge. We haven't seen that in so long, and it's so frustrating. I just hope that he lives up to this, this stuff that he said. And I like that he said that his expectations were higher than everybody else's in the room. And he expects to win every single football game that he steps on the field to coach. And I like that. But I also like that he was preaching unity. And I think he's got it. I think the way this hire played out, the way everything came together, people seemed to be behind Fulmer for the most part. And I think people bought in. The most people I've talked to have bought into what Pruitt is going to try to do at Tennessee. But I think unity is key. I think we have to realize next season is going to be tough because I think JP said we got the early signing period this year. They're coming in late. What can they salvage out of this first class? I don't know, but we're going to have to be patient. It's not. I'm not going to sit here and say it's a 4 or 5 year rebuild, but it is going to take time, and I think we do need to come together and be patient.
Well, I think a key point JP mentioned is the focus on the offensive line that you're seeing. He's going after, I know, at least a few JUCOs that he's offered. There's a graduate transfer from Cal that they're after as well. He may even be visiting this weekend possibly. So he definitely sees the need to beef up his offensive line. And there's been quite a few wide receiver offers, defensive tackles, corners, just a big change right there. But, a point you alluded to, it's going to come down to development. There really hasn't, the last couple of years, been any kind of development down there, it doesn't seem like. I mean, there's some good players down there. But, it'll be curious to see where it goes. Some of the guys, what I'll be interested to see is how the pieces match that are down there now. I think a lot of your linebackers are going to be kind of lost in space. Some of these smaller guys are going to have to beef up or probably leave, more than likely. What I think will work out is UT's had this knack for recruiting kind of these tweener guys that, 270, 275, 280. You don't really want to put them at defensive tackle in the conference, but were they too big for end? And in a 3-4, they're going to be ideal for a 3-4 defensive end right there. There's a lot of work to be done. We got 12 commitments right now, and it's possible they'll lose even more. So he's going to have a lot of signing to do, and that early signing period is going to throw a big wrench in things right now. I don't know how many guys that they're after are planning to sign early. Cade Mays is a big one. It honestly looks to me like he's not even giving them consideration at this point. It'd be nice.
Yeah, I don't think
maybe
so either.
He'll sneak in a visit to end, but I haven't seen anything that tells me that'll happen. It does look like maybe they're going to get Taylor back in the fold, the receiver out of Nashville, down around that area. It's kind of looking good right there right now. And so we'll see. I'm curious to see what happens with the quarterbacks because I know Nebraska's hard after Martinez. And I've seen a lot of predictions that he may flip, and I think I've seen Florida State offered Penix too. So will those two guys flip? We don't know. Hopefully they've got some options that they're looking at right there to go after in case that both of them do leave because they need some quarterback depth too.
I know you're talking about quarterbacks, and I kind of want to stay there. And it's who do you think plays quarterback next year? I mean, I think there's 3 guys down there right now that all have an opportunity to win that job. It's a new offensive system. I don't know what this offense is going to consist of. I do like, again, to go back to the press conference, I like that he said, if we got 3 real good tight ends, it's pretty stupid to put 2 of them on the bench. That tells me that that's a guy that's not a stubborn son of a bitch like somebody else that was down there in Knoxville and is going to run his infallible system no matter what. But again, it's all words. I want to see it put into action. But I like that mindset. If I got 3 good tight ends, I'm going to put 3 tight ends on the football field, and we're going to roll with it. So I don't know. But to get back to the question I asked you, JP, who do you think? Who are you rolling with in a non-Butch Jones? I would think it's going to be a little more pro style. I don't know. I have no idea. I just made that up. Completely made that up.
Who am I rolling with as quarterback?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that you at least got to see if Garantano can develop better from on what he was this past year. I mean, I'm excited. I think Helton. I would imagine, he coached. What's the kid out there? Sam Darnell, yeah, out there, and everybody talking about how great of a quarterback that he is and stuff like that. So, I was impressed with the kid out of Texas. Gosh, I can't even think of his name now. What was his name? 17.
McBride.
McBride, yeah, McBride. I thought that he had some toughness and stuff, but I think that Garantano started showing some things there towards the end of the year. It was just that he was hurt, and then our offensive line was just absolutely just horrendous due to injuries and just bad coaching, bad developing, the whole 9 yards there. So I think that you're going to see a lot more physical brand of football. Whether or not that it'll be successful yet next year, I don't know. But I'm excited about the fact that I think that both offense and defense, I think that Pruitt is going to demand that they be physical, and I'm hopeful in that term that if Tennessee needs a yard to either score or a yard to put a game away, that we can finally do that. That's what that they've got to have. They've got to have that mindset, and it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be anything that's going to be turned around overnight. Schedule next year is absolutely horrendous, brutal. The SEC again screwed Tennessee over with that 4-game stretch. Just
it's brutal.
That's one thing. And I know I'm off subject as far as the quarterbacks go, but that's one thing I hope Fulmer does as athletic director. I hope that he can get in there and communicate that to the SEC, because it's I don't know if there's any bias or not, but there's no other team in the SEC that has to go through a gauntlet like Tennessee has to next year. We got a little bit of break this year, even though we didn't win a conference game, but the same thing happened in 2016 as well. I mean, it was a brutal four-game stretch, and there's just no reason that they can't reschedule some of those games and mix them up. There's just no.
I'm just going to go ahead and warn you right now. Insert crybaby comments galore into the comment section, because they're coming. They're coming for you, but they're going to lump me in. They're going to say I said it, not you. And Rock said it. I said it. We're all a bunch of hillbilly inbreds. And
I mean, we'll line up and play. I mean, that's no problem. The Bama fans won't want to get on there and laugh. Then don't be scheduling Mercer the week before that you get your ass beat by Auburn. I don't know what.
You
to
think the
tell you.
Alabama fans listen this long? Or you think they just leave their comments?
I don't know.
I think they just leave their comments and leave.
They probably do. I mean, I know one thing. I'm not sitting around listening to an Alabama podcast.
No,
I can tell you
no,
that right now.
absolutely not.
I don't even know if one exists.
I don't either.
Whatever.
I wouldn't even care.
It
I'd
does
hate
make
to
me
listen
laugh.
to it though. It's kind of like them people from Alabama that call in the Feinbaum show.
Hey, somebody said I called in the
Yeah,
Feinbaum. Did
we
y'all
saw
see
that the other night. We saw that the other night, and that's the first thing that Brandy said. She said, "Lord, is that Boogie?"
Wasn't me. I promise it wasn't me. I was coaching
No,
basketball.
no, you were way too nice.
Oh, I'd have been way more fired up. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Lord.
goodness. I don't even know where to go. Rock, you got it. What do you want to add? Where do you want to take this thing? You're the host.
Oh,
Lead
am
us through it.
yeah, I'm the host that's
Yeah.
having a microphone issue right now. So, I don't where to go. I don't know. West Virginia, September. That's gonna be interesting to see. I mean, it's gonna be a test right off the bat because West Virginia is gonna be able to score some points. We'll see what this defense is made of. I'm just curious to see how the staff rounds up. You'd mentioned Winky earlier. I was under the impression he was coming on. I hadn't seen anything else. I didn't know what he was going to coach, though, if Helton's offensive coordinator and quarterback coach. I don't know what that leaves for him unless he did receivers possibly. But, the biggest thing on offense, you got to fix that offensive line. You're going to be good at running back. I think if you get somebody that can develop receivers, you'll be pretty good. You can be pretty good. I'm not going to say will be. You can be. But position switches.
That's what I was thinking. As soon as you
Surely
said wide
they-
receivers,
Goodness,
Bird's got to
Bird.
move. He even wants to move to defense. You got to move him
Yeah.
at this point. He's been wasted for 2 years on offense when we needed help at corner. And, I don't know where else you can move. I'll be curious to see if a fullback is inserted as well because they're going to be going under center some, but I don't know if it's one back or I got to think they're going to incorporate a fullback somehow, some way. And if they move a tight end, maybe an H back, something like that. I have seen they've been offering some tight ends as well. So, I don't know. A lot of unknown, but I think, we've alluded to he's got a good staff. I think they'll develop. Strength and conditioning is going to be a big one, too, because that's obviously can't have the amount of injuries we've had the last 2 years again. It just cannot happen again. That's got to get fixed. So there's a lot of guys down there is going to earn their money for sure because there's a lot of development that needs to be done down there for sure.
Yeah,
right, that goes back to the money deal. I like the fact that Fulmer put the money on the table, or whoever made that decision. They're willing to spend that money to hire a staff that can get to work. Have you heard any rumors at all about strength and conditioning?
no, I haven't. And of course, today they just said that Rock was let go. So I don't know
Which
who
we all knew that was coming, but I just haven't seen any names thrown around.
Yeah. So I don't know when he's going to, if he's got somebody already in mind that he thinks that he's going to bring in or whatever. I just hope that he brings some of that deer antler spray from Alabama with him.
I hope so too. Bring the needles, baby. It's
Yeah.
time to win football games.
Yeah, I know it,
I've
right?
seen a guy mention that's at
Spring.
Texas A&M that apparently worked at Alabama. I cannot remember what the guy's name is at this point, but he
At this point,
I was going to
Yeah,
say
sorry.
I've seen where he may stay at A&M, so I don't know if that's possible or not. But that's a big hire. That's a real big hire right there.
oh yeah, it's absolutely huge. I don't know how much that strength and conditioning coach down there at Alabama makes. I've heard he makes $600,000 or more, whatever. I'm saying, throw throw $1 million at that guy. He'd be worth it, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Because obviously
Yeah,
that they're
you
doing
look at
something down there.
Alabama's.
My
We
God.
we joke about it, and I don't even want to say that maybe it's going on. I mean, whatever. The NCAA has testing, whatever. But you look at Alabama, they look so much bigger than everybody else. So something's going on. So if he is cheating, well, come to Knoxville and cheat. And I agree. Throw money at him.
I
See what
think
happens.
with Alabama, they just recruit a bigger athlete. They're not recruiting guys, 200-pound guys, and wanting to beef them up to play linebacker. They're not recruiting 250-pound guys, beefing them up defensive tackle. I mean, they're recruiting legitimate guys that are already that size.
That are already
and
there.
When they get in the
Yeah.
strength and conditioning
And-
program, they're just bulking up. If anything, they'll probably just have to get rid of some bad weight off of them.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely the case. But not only are they recruiting bigger guys, but they're big and fast. I mean, that's why they're four and 5 stars. I mean, that's what Saban's been able to do down there. I mean, he's just been able to stockpile talent, and hopefully maybe Pruitt can bring some of that with him. But at the end of the day, it's still going to require winning football games. I mean, you're only going to get so many recruits for so long without winning football games. So I mean, that's definitely what's going to have to happen. I guess another thing that we got to look at coming up, over the next month is possibility of out of the junior class who may end up going pro. I think that the biggest one that's the most probable is probably Galden. I could see him definitely going pro. I think that other than him, I think that you've got John Kelly that could possibly look at it.
Yeah, they can test the process. If I'm not mistaken, they can get a grade. I think Galden's the only one that could possibly go. I just don't see Kelly going that high right now. I mean, I may be wrong on that. He's definitely a good back, but his line didn't do anything to help him this year, to help his case at all. But if anybody improved their stock, it's Galden. And I'll kind of be curious if he comes back what they'll do with him. I can't just see him being a nickel back the whole time. I could see him possibly moving out to corner, or would they even put him at safety? Also, I think they'll have a little bit bigger safeties as well. And I'll be curious to see a guy like Galden and Warrior in a new defense.
Oh yes, I'm hugely excited about Warrior. I think that he could be an absolute stud underneath this coaching staff.
Yeah, and if we get Kelly back, Todd Kelly, I'll be curious to see him because, I don't think he's the fastest guy, but I always thought he was a pretty solid player down there. I definitely thought he was better than Abernathy, and I never understood why Abernathy was playing over him down there. That one just kind of boggled my mind a little bit, but they're going to have to get some corners in there, and that's why they've offered some JUCO, because who's coming back? I mean, you got Schamberger, you've got Osborne. I can't really think of anybody. They got a couple guys out of Louisiana last year, but
yeah, you got that Cheyenne LaBruza.
yeah,
I think,
and he moved to safety.
He was hurt.
He was hurt and moved to safety, and then you got what was it, Bailey, Terrell Bailey, I think.
Yeah.
I know I'm probably forgetting somebody,
he,
but corners go. That's why now's the ideal time to move Bird. It is ideal now. I think you do too.
You've got to move Bird.
I don't think it serves any purpose to keep him on offense at this point. It didn't serve a purpose last 2 years to keep him over there.
I don't either.
Stubbornness, but
yeah, that's all it was.
Yeah,
stubbornness.
I would expect that to be one of the first moves, though, as far as personnel changing sides or changing positions.
Well, if you can move him and you can talk Galden into staying, and Schamberger got thrown into the fire a few times, and
He was 10 times better than
yeah,
Martin.
yeah. So I mean, he's got some game experience, early on. So I mean, that's three guys right there. If this staff makes the right moves, I think surely you. Well, I don't know. Money talks, and I never blame a kid for going pro. You don't know where these kids came from, what their backstory is. I never blame a kid for going pro. And me and my wife argue all the time because she talks about how important education is. Well, yeah, it is. But once I sign that dotted line, if I get hurt, I've got plenty of money to go back to college and get a degree if I need it. I never fault somebody for going pro, but I think Galden could come back and definitely improve his draft stock if they moved him to corner. I mean, the guy was the best athlete on the field, and like you said, why is he playing nickelback? I don't know. But that's three guys right there. That's three guys right there that have tons of potential to play corner. I'm more concerned talking about this 3-4. If they do go 3-4, who's going to play nose
That's
tackle?
got to be McKenzie.
Well, him or
Good
Tuttle.
gosh. Do you have confidence in that? I don't have a whole lot of confidence there.
No, I don't. I don't look for us to play much of a 3-4 next year. I just don't see how that we can. I mean, we don't have the players to fit that system down there. And like you said, what Pruitt said, they're going to be, they're going to adapt to what that their players' skill sets are. They're going to be multi-functional, multi-dimensional, whatever that you want to put it. I just can't see them playing much 3-4 now. I may be wrong, but you're going to have to get somebody in there in the middle that can hold their ground, and you're going to have to get bigger on the defensive end too. I mean, maybe Kongbo puts on 30 more pounds and plays at 290, where it seemed to be that he was better at anyway. So
I think
I don't
that's
know,
where guys like Butler, Bennett, they were kind of tweeners right there. I think that's where that may be good moves for them because I don't know if they were true defensive tackles, yet they weren't. I don't know if they were necessarily 4-3 ends either. So a bigger end right there. Like you said, Kongbo, if he beefs up a little bit. Phillips, he may be a good fit for that. One thing I think you'll see is Darrell Taylor out at outside linebacker. Now, he's definitely not big enough for a 3-4 end. I mean, you may even see Tuttle as a 3-4 end. Some as well, but I'm kind of like you. I don't know. We'll see a ton of it. And I was reading an analysis today on what Alabama's done. And it says pretty much 70% of the time they're in nickel anyway because a lot of these offenses are spread offenses now. So it's kind of a moot point, possibly. And like you said, it'll be more multi. You probably won't see a ton of 3-4. Biggest things are outside linebackers. You're going to have to get bigger outside linebackers right there. I've said it numerous times now. You can't have a 215 or 20 pound outside linebacker in this defense. You just can't. Utilizing two middle linebackers, I think that's one place that could be a strength if Kirkland is back healthy, and then you got Batuli in there as well. That's going to be two decent sized middle linebackers that can actually move around. There's some personnel that'll fit good in the defense, but you got to shore up corner, and that's why they're offering these big guys in the middle because you're going to need that 320, 330 pound defensive tackle in there. And what we've all said it with McKenzie. I think he's had his moments, but he's yet to show he was a 5-star. So maybe with some development, maybe a good strength and conditioning program, better coaching. Seems like they got good coaches coming in. That'll help right there. So I don't think it's all bleak on the let's put it this way: it sure as hell can't get any worse than it's been the last 2 years.
Yes, that's what I was getting ready to say. There's no, I mean, they could put us three out there, and we could give up as many points as we've given up and many yards as we've given up the last couple of years underneath.
Yeah, I mean, I could get out there and get
Well, that's
my ass
why
plowed over all day long too, and
Why, yeah.
when Pruitt at the press conference said we're going to get in their face, we're going to make them earn it. How in the hell can it get any worse? Why not just get in their face and make them earn it? What are they going to do? Throw it over your head? Well, I'll be damned. I can watch them run it up the middle all day long, or you can throw it over my head. I don't really care. But like you said, it can't really get any worse. But I think Pruitt is coming in at the right time, the right circumstances. I feel like this fan base is ready to explode and get excited, man. Yeah, how many times over the last 5 years have we been right on the verge? Right on that verge, man, and you're just ready. It's time, and we just keep falling back and keep falling back, and we're the laughing stock of college football. It is what it is. The SEC fans want to laugh and make fun of us. They want to talk about the Shiano hire, and I'm damn proud of what Tennessee did with that Shiano hire because he didn't need to be the head coach. And I stand behind Coach Pruitt, and I'm excited to see what he can do. And this next season, it may be tough, man. It may be, but I think he is the timing is right. That I hope our fan base understands that, and we'll get behind him. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. It's crazy coming off a 4-8 season to be sitting here in December excited about where this program's going. But that's where I'm at. I'm excited.
I think next year, I mean, obviously, I think the East is going to be better. They've had some interesting hires and stuff. I think next year, if you get bowl eligible, that's a pretty good season, in my opinion. Maybe I'm setting the bar low. I mean, that's not my wish every year to just get the Music City Bowl or the Liberty Bowl or something. That's obviously not it, but you got to be a realist sometimes too. And with what the offensive line's got coming back and what we got at corner, new systems, and all new staff, I think a bowl game next year would be a good start, and then you go from there.
Yeah, that's my goal. Yeah, get bowl eligible. I think that's
I mean, that's what Georgia did
too.
in Smart's first year. Did they go 6-6 or 7-5 the first year? They got a bowl game.
It was one of those.
Now look where they're at. I mean,
it was one of
they're
those.
in the playoff for the championship. I'm not sitting here saying we've got Georgia talent right now or nothing like that, but you get a bowl that first year, that's a good start. That shows you're moving in the right direction, and they've got a full year to recruit. This recruiting class now, I mean, if they get in the top 20, I think it's pretty good. I think it's going to be hard to roll in any big-time guys at this point. I think they'll get some good prospects, but a lot of it's going to be getting, like you guys said, they're not just going to get guys to get them. It'll be guys that'll fit what they want to do. But you give them a year, I think it's going to be a good recruiting staff as well. And
I do
you
too.
get that bowl,
Yeah,
and you're
yeah.
you're ready to roll at that point.
What's funny to me is you talking about Smart. Do you guys remember that first season? You remember hearing so much how the locker room was divided and people were pissed off, and it's almost that same type of atmosphere. JP talking about people, what's going to happen when spring practice rolls around. And I think we're going to see some of that. I think the soft are about to get weeded out. And that could probably be looked at as the locker room being divided. And, man, we heard a ton of that in Smart's first year at Georgia. Like, you thought the locker room was divided, but in reality, the soft are getting weeded out, and guys with their eyes on the prize are rolling with Smart. And like you said, now look where it got them.
I agree with that. I think, it was alluded to earlier on. These guys have been pampered, just been given their way the whole time. They're either going to get with it or get out. Just that's all there is to it, and that's what you've got to do. You can't have, and we've seen it down there. I mean, we've seen it for the last couple years. that something just was not right down there. And I think it'll get the locker room. There'll be some growing pains. I have no doubt about that. There'll be some feelings hurt. There'll be some growing pains, but yeah, it may take a year to get it kind of everybody on the same page going. I'm not going to say it'll take a full year, but once you get that going, guys know what's expected. Again, your strength and conditioning coaches, a lot of times, it's kind of like your head coach in the off season. That's the main ones around them. Obviously the 2 years ago, Butch fired his guy, and then last year, I don't know what in the hell they were doing. If they were out throwing rocks or what was going on then, but if he gets a good strength and conditioning guy in, that's kind of your disciplinarian, your guy that kind of gets things going. And I don't know, it'll be interesting to see how many transfer out over it. I'm not saying I think there'll be a ton or anything, but it's going to be natural to see some attrition right there, no doubt.
It always happens. Every time you got a coaching turnover, there'll be some that will.
Yeah, hopefully we just don't see, like with Butch, sign 30-some guys and half of them leave by the end of the first year. That's when you know something's kind of not going right there. I don't expect to see that again. I think they'll have they got to, everybody says recruit character. That's one thing. You don't really know till they get on campus. You could recruit a choir boy and he gets on campus and goes wild at that point. So I think sometimes that's overblown a little bit. It's a matter of getting them to buy in, is what it is, in my opinion.
Oh. Well, I think it's about time to wrap this episode up. Looking to the future, Talkin Vols, we will definitely, obviously, be back next year. But the next couple months, I'm not sure what we're gonna do. We will touch base. We'll post some episodes. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you guys want us to do. Obviously, we've got the early signing period. We can do an episode for that. Then we'll have National Signing Day. We'll cover the spring game. We'll cover some spring practice. We want to keep this thing rolling, man. We've got a lot of feedback. When you guys are ready to burn down my house because my voice is gone and we can't record a podcast, it's almost funny, but, man, it fires me up. I like that you guys are passionate. You want to hear from us. Give us a follow on Twitter and on Facebook. It's at Talkin Vols _pod. It's TALKINVAWLS _POD. Give us a follow, man. Talk to us. Chat with us. Let us know what you guys want. Also, we're at patreon.com/talkinvols _pod. Some people ask, what is Patreon? What does that do? Well, it's a way to help us get funded. You guys, a lot of people say, well, this is on YouTube. It's hard for me to listen to when I'm driving to work or I'm at the gym or whatever. We want to get to a podcast platform. That's our goal. We would love to make this a legitimate podcast, but unfortunately that costs us money. So this is a way that you can help us do that, and also in return you get a little bit of a benefit or a gift. One of the things is a Facebook group. We've got a Facebook group set up, ready for you guys to come and chat with us. This week you guys are posting on CommentCast videos, you're tweeting us, you're posting on Facebook, you're asking where's the video. I think it's $2 a month. $2 a month to support Talkin Vols. You can jump in our Facebook group and we can communicate back and forth. We can let you guys know what's going on. Before the podcast even drops, we can talk about Pruitt, what we think. We can talk about recruits. We can talk about depth chart. Anything you guys want to talk about. We talk about UT football year long. For $2 a month, we'll throw you in that Facebook group. And you guys, we're going to be interactive. We'll check it every day. We'll chat. But check it out. Again, it's patreon.com/talkinvols _pod. But that's going to wrap it up. Just check it out. See what's going on. Keep up with us. And I know we'll be back. I just don't know when. JP, this has been a hell of a season, boys. I got to thank both of you guys. I said up front, if we're going to come back for this second season, we have to be dedicated. We have to show up every week. We have to be consistent. And, yeah, I had some stuff going on in my life, and I had to step away, and you guys did. And you guys stepped up to the plate and just right here on the podcast in front of everybody. Man, I appreciate your all's dedication and your willingness to do this. And there was times I didn't want to do it, and you guys made me do it. So it's been a hell of a ride. It's been fun. It was a shitty season, but damn it, here we are. And I appreciate y'all just sticking in there with me.
It was a fun year. Yeah, we appreciate you. And I want to mention, too, I know it's a football podcast, but you guys get out and check out this basketball team this year. We got a pretty good men's basketball team going on right now. Not to get a new subject going, but big game Sunday in Thompson Bowling against North Carolina. Probably one of the biggest games down there in a long time. So
maybe since Texas and what's his face came to town.
Oh,
whatever
Durant.
His name is.
Well, you
Durant.
had that one. And
yeah, I was at that
I went
game
when
actually.
they beat Kansas, when Kansas was number 1. We lucked into some tickets and just went down thinking, get to see them play Kansas number 1. And they come up and beat them that day. But pretty exciting times going on right now. Coaching changes and some programs showing the right direction. But it's been fun. You know, I didn't know what to expect when I got into this year, but I've enjoyed it. Enjoy talking with people on the messages. There's been a time or two I've not enjoyed that. I think we've had some morons that kind of went a little far with stuff, and that's whatever. But, yeah, it's been fun, and look forward to doing it again next year.
The good has far outweighed the bad. I'll say that.
Yeah.
The
I
idiots
wouldn't be
are
doing
idiots,
it
and we
every
know
week
it.
if I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, there are a ton of guys and gals leaving comments that, man, we love interacting with you guys. And like I said, I love your passion and that you're asking, where is it? You know, because it would suck if we're just sitting here not recording and nobody cares. But you guys care, and that makes it fun. But, JP, what about you? Final words for the season finale of Talkin VAWLS.
Yes, I mean, I've enjoyed this year, even though this year sucked. Worst season in program history, but it's been great being on here with you guys each and every week. Appreciate you, Boogie, for doing all the behind-the-scenes things of getting this thing uploaded for us and everything, and certainly appreciate everybody that listens to it, replies, comments, even you Georgia and Bama fans. Appreciate you.
Well, that's going to wrap it up for Talkin VAWLS, episode 27. Don't go anywhere because I promise you, you never know when episode 28 is going to pop up. But for Vols, JP, and our main, I'm Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.
Jack Kerouac, he drank himself to death in New England, and I'd like to take his hand and say, Jack, man, it's okay. Now he's gone, and we're left to move on without him. Songs howl like beat poets at an arcade, soaking moonlit falls, unbroken past this inundated orb that we call home. And it's night and I'm alone and I'm alive.